my very best. I am doing my best to honor myself and honor my feelings. I have treated myself to $30.40 at Namaste. However, there's still like a guilt, I suppose, because I imagine those who need that $30 to buy like shampoo and dish soap and necessities, while I indulge in my senses. My inner child is severely wounded with the witnessing of my parents and what they're going through right now, and just with all the energies that I have witnessed and experienced today, the releases, the cryings, the screamings, the purging of emotions, and the remembering to re-become one with the self. It can be very traumatic to be holding such space and density. Sometimes my ego says things like I am charging too little for my time and my energy and for what I am giving, and that I am not receiving back equally as I am giving. And many times I am left depleted and feeling like I have nothing. So even if I have money and a good meal, like all the love that I gave, like I am left hungry for that same love to come back to me and to be embraced and to be honored and respected as the strong woman that I know that I am, that sometimes feels like everybody cannot see until I am breaking down and revealing what I am going through. I have been given very dirty looks by many women and people who just do not understand me and cannot see me. All they see is their expectations of me and the stories of me they have heard, yet they have never taken the time to really hold my hand and to understand my past, to understand my seizure, to understand my brain injuries, to understand my cries and my screams and the wounds that I hide, to understand my hunger, my desire, and what I have chosen to stay alive for. I am doing my best to nourish myself. I have the intention of taking a salt bath when I get home. My ego wants to put a whole $5 bag in there, though my ego also says, like, you can't afford that. Be smart, you know? I have to save for tomorrow. I have to think of future Trina. I have to save my resources. I have the desire to go to school so that I'm not stuck, you know, paycheck to paycheck and feeling unworthy or incapable of taking care of my parents 100%. It makes me feel weak to not be strong enough to be able to provide this nourishment. I packed myself a smoothie today. I did not drink it. I had some of it. The rest of it I gave to the earth. I packed a lunch and I put so much love and energy into it. I did not eat it. I put some of my best nutrients into it, you know? Like my organic, clean, good foods, and still I had no interest and no will to eat, and still then I spent money on dinner. So there's also that part of me beating myself up saying I don't deserve it, or I'm not worthy, or like, you know, like I'm ungrateful. I have like this sickness that just keeps coming and going. Like it's severe sinus infection or something, and I finally was like capable of getting a nose, ears, and throat specialist, but they can't see me until the 21st. And like honestly, I've kind of like lost my faith in like doctors, you know, like with everything I've seen with people, and just like, at least in America, or like I don't know, like a lot of people are doctors for the money, not because they actually genuinely like have an interest in diseases and people getting better and creating healing, you know. They just want the paycheck and being funded by the pharmaceutical companies, being funded for surgeries. I'm having like a really hard time I'm not turning to, like, you know, smoking weed and having that, like, escape and that emotional release. Like, I just need, like, better coping skills. And then, like, the only other way that I know is by going to get a massage. I have, like, one person I can call, like, for 9:00 p.m. massages. And, like, non-sexual and safe place for me to go. However, my ego also is like, no, save your money. You know? I mean, maybe, like, I'll call just to see. I don't know. I have to get up at, like, 4:00 in the morning so I can pick someone up at 4:30 and continue the journey of the shaman, you know? Like, just because, like, I'm breaking down doesn't mean that my process just stops. Like, I know a lot of people would tell me to take a break for a while, but, like, no way. I hear Lee in my head. I didn't come this far just to come this far, so even if it means I drop dead, no way, man. No way. Part of me has, like, Wolf's quote in my head, you know, Wolfgang von Merz from the Wolf's Museum of Mystery. He says, I welcome death. I'm not being foolish and, you know, self-destructive, just like when the good Lord says that it's my time to go, I fully embrace it. And at times there's a deep longing for my soul to go back home, because my soul remembers what it's like to be on the other side. And sometimes it's hard to see God in all things and in everywhere, because many times I'm left lonely and misunderstood and lacking compassion and these great riches that people have, like these traditional wisdoms, things that money don't buy, like self-love or, like, I don't know, certain levels of nourishment that just can't be bought, that I just haven't learned. I'm also feeling, like, extreme hatred for myself because, like, of my own personal shortcomings. And one of them is HSV1. And this just makes me feel like I'm unlovable. And that, like anybody that I love, that I'm just going to hurt them. And that I'm unworthy of their love. And that if I really loved them, that I wouldn't hurt them with me and my body, and I wouldn't be so selfish for my sexual needs. And, like, the same thing with me having kids, you know? Like, every time I tell somebody that I want to have kids, I'm constantly beat up. How, like, my kid is going to get my illness. Unless I have my stomach cut open, which, please God, I just do not want that. Like, I believe I deserve to have free will, to have the life that I choose. And, like, I recognize there are hearts that I have broken, like, you know, like Sarah wanted me to be in a relationship with her and to be with her exclusively. Or, like, I don't even know what she was thinking. There was never really clear communication in our relationship or a full discussion of, like, polyamory or of me having, like, a husband and a wife, or, like, my actual true desire of having one person. And frankly, how I just really would love a man. You know, like, not to be a sexist, but, like, it's just, like, where my heart's at, like, what I'm attracted to, and I see clearly who I would choose if I was granted permission. But again, like, there's this contract with self-doubt where I'm constantly telling myself, like, all these stories, and they just won't stop. And then it leads to behavioral actions of going, like, without food or without drinking water or not taking my medicine. Like, I have, like, these medicines of spirit, right? These dragon pearls that I paid, like, $60 for from my acupuncturist, and I haven't been taking them. Like, do I really want to get better? Like, I don't think it's worth the money to spend on me. Like, it doesn't really make sense. But then, like, I'll also access, like, this ego level where I'll be like, I'm worth all the money in the world, right? Like, I try to tell myself a story, and sometimes I really want to believe it. And sometimes I believe it for just a second. And like working in the realm of being like a financial dominatrix or playing with the fetishes, like it's kind of really allowed me to like play and access all these different levels of consciousness and different states of being, so that I could step into my own personal power and access like what I really enjoy and what I would really have if I had the power. Such as financial freedom and wealth. You know, like to be able to have the ability to go to the spa any day and not to feel like I am to be a slave every day. Just so I can have a roof over my head, like to have permission to really do what I have passion to do. I'm really passionate about acupuncture, but I'm my own worst enemy, always telling me that I'm too stupid and I can't. And then like I see like people around me who tell themselves the same stories. I am helpless, I am meaningless, I am useless, I can't, I won't. And then I see me becoming them, and my love for them like makes me unable to disassociate with them, because I feel bad for them and I want to help them. But in the process, I am dragging myself down, and some of these people are family that I cannot abandon. My love for them is too strong, and I would feel awful. I already feel awful for the ways that I treat them at times. Like I lose my composure, I lose my capability to have compassion and forgiveness and understanding and a willingness to listen. I fight the same way I fight God and in what they ask me to do sometimes. Like my ego right now, I don't want to pay for gas, I don't want to fucking do this, but I have to, like. And then sometimes I feel like unappreciated, you know, like I feel like I put in a lot of energy to be of service at the Purple Rose. And sometimes I just feel really unseen. And then sometimes I feel really seen, and it just makes up for all the times that I am unseen. But some people just have no idea just how hard it is just to keep waking up every day. Like, like my dreams are heaven to me at times. And that is my ultimate samadhi. Sometimes in meditation, how sometimes it's really hard to give myself permission to feel and be in these states, especially with like this inner narrator that tells me like you gotta work or be dependent on somebody for the rest of your life. And I just refuse to have that story, because I've watched so many people be dependent on other people and then like not get their needs met because the other person genuinely didn't care about them and they had like their own needs in mind. Like, I'll only help you if you do this for me, you know? Oh, this is conditional love to me. It just makes me miserable, because I am hungry for that unconditional love that I am constantly serving and providing. I am lonely and empty unless I am being of service. Part of me only feels purposeful when I am helping others. And then I have difficulty helping myself. Like, I feel guilty doing things for myself and being selfish. But then my ego kicks in and says things like, no one else is gonna give a shit. But then people show me that they do care, and sometimes when they show me love, like, I push them away, and I, like, don't feel worthy or good enough, or that, like, I'm capable of giving them the same love that they give me, especially at the times that they give it to me, because they tend to reach out at the times where I'm breaking down, and I never like anyone to know, like, how much pain and suffering I'm going through, because, like, I have, like, this inner narrator that tells me, like, I'm supposed to be the goddess, I'm supposed to be the strong one, I'm supposed to be the teacher. Like, right? Like, I put in all this work. I hear this Linkin Park line, right? Like, even the people who never frown eventually break down. Music is always a healing tool for me. I'm attempting to have compassion and forgiveness for my own soul, and I feel like a level of shame and guilt and humility for the level that I have exposed myself at this time. However, like, there's a great level of reverence and self-love and respect out of, like, truly, sincerely allowing myself to truly be seen and heard authentically. You ever notice that sometimes when you tell people, like, oh, my family has this health issue, and then they come back at you, oh, well, my family has this health issue. Like, as if it's a competition. You know what I mean? Instead of there being compassion. You know what I mean? And they expect you to just drop everything. Instead of actually genuinely caring about the health. And then they have the nerve and the audacity to say, I love you. Some people don't know what love is and they just throw that word around. I really don't feel good. And I have to soldier up, get gasoline, and drive myself home. And try to make myself go to bed early. I can't find my debit card. There we go. I'm so grouchy. I'm tired and like I'm angry at myself for not eating, and I just feel like I'm just like spiraling downward, and I would like to get better, and just it doesn't feel like there's many people really holding a space for me to get better. There's just a lot of people like pushing me to like do this, do that, I need you for this, or I'm going through that, or like do this, Trina, do this, why aren't you reading your books, why aren't you doing this? Like I feel like this constant extreme pressure. And yet, like, nobody is, like, really there for me. And, like, especially, like, older people. Like, older people that, like, my ego says, like, you're supposed to be together. You're supposed to be the example for me. You're supposed to give me advice. You're supposed to help me out. Help me go to school. Help me do things you didn't do. And then, like, meanwhile, there's, like, this never-ending circle of just, like, hell for all of us because none of us wants to help each other. And we just all think that we're so important and we're the center of the universe. And I'm just frustrated. So frustrated. I'll get over it. I have to soldier up. I'm holding space for Dwayne tomorrow. I'm bringing Dwayne down to Jose and holding space for him to go through ceremony, so that he can enjoy his process and fulfill his personal prophecy that he has chosen. I am very thankful for this. Again, please, if it calls to you, I would love to be present for you for a plant bath, an ice bath. Dwayne is totally not for that, so please, if you know anybody, or if it calls to you, I just want to be there. Don't do it just for me, though. Do it for you, out of pure curiosity to see what's going on. And just know that I'll be holding space for you and love. And just a different level of being a witness. I tipped $8. That's a very powerful number for me. Unconditional love and never ending. My bill was $22. I kind of suck at math and couldn't really figure out how much tip really was, you know? Like, I just like to treat them really good because, like, whenever, like, I don't want to go home or, like, I don't, like, feel good, I run there. They're closed on Mondays. I'm excited to see my dad tomorrow. And I'm hoping to, like, hold him really tight and to kiss his cheek. My mother recently moved away to Ohio. So it's not really easy to connect with her, and she kind of expects me to drop everything and fly there when I can't really do that right now. The only help I would ask you for is your prayers. Have, like, an intention in your heart, like a space for me to be happy. To return to my childlike innocence and to really remember who I was before all this stuff happened. Like, I've been doing, like, a lot of processing, and I, like, forgot that I had a suicide attempt when I was, like, in middle school. Like, since I was little, like, I've always had, like, this deep, extreme pain. And, like, I know exactly where it comes from. And one day I may feel comfortable to take you on a journey of, like, my personal process and what I've experienced. but that may be many years from now. If I'm even available in this platform with the way that the world is going, we're being so conditioned in how we're allowed to express ourselves, right? No one wants to hear your pain, your suffering. They only want to see the good parts, and they want to celebrate your downfalls. I pity you. At the same time, I have compassion for your souls and leave a space for you to heal and to grow and to have a space for love. Those are the individuals I wish to work with the most. However, most of them tend to say that they have nothing wrong, that everything's okay. Thank you for allowing me to share with you what I have received and what I'm feeling and what I'm being right now. Thank you for accepting me. Perhaps you can meditate and close your eyes and feel within and connect to source and hear and feel what I might really need and intend on sending me that type of energy, even if it is not from you directly, that you simply allow and notice and recognize what I really need right now, which might be a level of nourishing or understanding or a word that you may consider as help. But I'm telling you, if money can fix the problem, it's not a real problem. There has to be a root to the problem. Like if you're constantly broke, somewhere along the lines you learned that it's not worth saving money, or there's no need to save for the future, or there's no future you. A lot of blockages here. I'm not really ready to get into this. I need some time alone. I love you. Ho'oponopono. Ho'oponopono.